long is it going to take to analyse this agreement?
Look, I think it's so divisive. It will take a little bit of time. Certainly, we have to analyse the document. We have to see what its longevity is, how we future-proof the document. Remember, it only landed in my in-tray on Monday afternoon, and we weren't trailed this beforehand, so we knew nothing of it, and there were some surprises in it. So it's going to take us a bit of time to look at that, and then we have to make sure we engage with the wider party. But I certainly don't think it's going to take weeks, and certainly it should not take months. Any political party should have the structures in place to be able to do the analysis on this and come up with their decision in a week, or certainly no more than 2 weeks.
What sort of surprises are you referring to there that were in this agreement that you weren't expecting?
Well, I think the stormont break was the one that surprised us the most. As a political party, we put in many ways of dealing with some of the problems, and we did say use the structures of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement in order to deal with some of the issues we've got around the protocol. And they've done that with the petition of concern, but we weren't expecting that, and we still don't know fully how that is actually going to work. So we've got a number of RFIs that we will put into government to see if we can get some answers to that and a bit of clarity.
Okay, what about these green lanes that we are hearing about? We're told that that means that there will not be a border of soft, hard border, whatever, in the Irish Sea. But reading my newspaper this morning, that is suggesting potentially otherwise. Other checks will still be in place, including random checks.
Yes, and let's be absolutely clear. There was always checks of some description between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, even before Brexit. Certainly after the foot and mouth, we had checks on animals certainly coming into Northern Ireland. So checks were always there. It's all about the level of checks, and goods that come routinely from Great Britain to Northern Ireland that are staying and for consumption in Northern Ireland should not routinely be checked. But of course, there will be checks which are intelligence-led checks to stop smuggling, to make sure people aren't abusing the system. But goods that are coming through Northern Ireland, going into the European Union, into the European Union single market, I think it's fair to say that they need to be checked, and I don't think that anybody should take too much of an issue with that.
Okay, so there will be a border there, as you're illustrating. When Rishi Sunak came yesterday, so sort of what was the mood music? What was it like in the room? Was people patting him on the back, or was it cautiously optimistic, or how was he received?
No, I met with the Prime Minister, and I thank the Prime Minister for what he's done and his team has done to get us to where we are. But I did say to him as well that we can't sit on this. We need to move forward, and we need to move forward quickly, and we will come up with our response, and we will give him that. And I raised the concerns that we had around the stormont break and some other issues that we've got, and I raised them, and he accepted them, and he said he will come back to me with that. So the mood was quite buoyant, if I'm honest. I think he feels like he's done his job in regards to this. And look, if I look at this at face value, Kay, and when I say face value, if I just look at what he said in his statement to Parliament, if I looked at that and nothing else, I would say this is fantastic. But the devil is always in the detail, and we have to stop and look at this and study not just the command paper, but the legal text and the political declaration as well. And I think people understand that we need to do that.
Okay, so when you raised the concerns about this break, Stormont break, he said he'd come back to you. Did he give you a timescale?
No, he said he'd come back soon. One thing he did say, and I asked him, what time frame are we looking at here for ratification or a vote in Parliament or anything like that? And he said, look, he's not going to give me time frame on that. I think he's giving people time and space to be able to look at this, and I think it's fair that people do need time and space. The point I've made, and I've made repeatedly, is you can't drag this out for weeks on end. You can't drag this out for months. You need to come up with a position on this one way or the other, and that needs to be an informed position, and that just takes a bit of an analysis as to what we're going to achieve here. Nobody gets everything that they want from these type of negotiations, and I think it's right that any business in Northern Ireland or any business in Great Britain who are using Northern Ireland to move goods into the European single market need to adhere to EU rules and regulations and laws, but that should not affect those people in Northern Ireland who do not. So that's an important distinction that has to be made.